Hey Light Warriors. Today we're going to analyze this new video game, Back 4 Blood. And we're going to analyze it under the lens of predictive programming. And this is a very interesting video game that they got coming out right now. Back 4 Blood. You can see these humans in the middle and these creatures all around them. Let's take a look at what this game is all about. Come slay with us. Back 4 Blood is a thrilling, cooperative first-person shooter from the creators of the critically acclaimed Left 4 Dead franchise. You are at the center of a war against the Ridden. These once human hosts of a deadly parasite have turned into terrifying creatures bent on devouring what remains of civilization. With humanity's extinction on the line, it's up to you and your friends to take the fight to the enemy, eradicate the Ridden, and reclaim the world. This is a very interesting concept for this game. So, I guess we're up against these once human hosts of a deadly parasite, and this parasite has turned them into terrifying creatures bent on devouring what remains of civilization. So, a lot of times in these games and movies and TV shows, there's a lot of predictive programming. We could see in these games what's going on in the world. Kind of spooky here. Now look at this thing here. The devil worm. I don't want that inside me, Light Warriors. How about you? This little parasite here. It's interesting when you look at this thing. And if you look, it almost looks like it's got like a little DNA strand in there, right? And kind of spooky. Back 4 Blood. They should have just left that thing in the ice. Sometimes things are left in very cold climates, right? Very cold situations. And then when you take it out of the cold environment, it's in a cold environment. When you take it out of the cold environment, it starts to do what it's got to do, right? So this is it's kind of quite terrifying, actually. But Back 4 Blood. So now we got all these little creatures here, and we got the humans. So it's an interesting concept for this video game, but it's also quite terrifying at the same time. What's going on here? So we got the parasite there. Oh, look, it's Medea. There she is. There's Medea. Oh, it all comes out. It all comes out, Light Warriors. It all comes out. We got to watch out for Medea, right? So, this is an interesting concept for the video game. So we got the parasite here, and when it's taken out of the cold, right? When it's taken out of the cold, I guess it comes to life as the parasite. And as it says here in the game, these once human hosts of a deadly parasite have turned into terrifying creatures. So, I guess they take in this parasite and they turn into all these creatures here. And the people are standing up against the creatures to save humanity. So, it's an interesting concept for this video game. What do you think about this video game? Do you think we should play this video game? Looks like it could be fun. I really don't have time for video games much, but it's an interesting video game. And it's an interesting concept. And a lot of times we analyze, these things that are put out there, predictive programming. Many times we see this in movies like The Matrix and They Live. If you haven't seen They Live yet, you really got to watch They Live. Those are more like alien creatures, not like these things here, but also an interesting concept. So in predictive programming, they kind of put stuff out in Medea, and video games count as Medea. We just saw Medea. Let's take a look at Medea again. There she is. Terrifying, right? Medea. It's funny. See? It all comes out, Light Warriors. So they got a parasite here, and the parasite comes out of the cold, and then it activates, and then once human hosts, I guess it goes into the host, the human, and it turns the human into those terrifying creatures that we see all over this video game. So, a lot of stuff is shown to us in these movies, in these TV shows, and also in these video games. And that's predictive programming. So we kind of become normalized, right? It's normalizing certain things so that people, get used to some of these things that we see here. So what do you think about this video game? Please leave comments on your thoughts about this video game and the concept of the video game. Back for Blood and these humans and the parasite that goes inside, and kind of, I don't know what do you think about this parasite here, right? It's kind of interesting. It's got the DNA in there and all this, the little head, the tail. It's quite freaky, but it looks like a cool game. Maybe we'll give this game a try. So leave comments, and I will be making a part 2 of this video for our Patreon. And if you haven't joined our Patreon yet, I'm very grateful for all of those that will join Patreon, and I will go into detail a little bit more in part 2 of this very interesting video game and analyzing this video game. And, sometimes the truth can be stranger than fiction, right? And there's a lot to analyze in the world right now. So I will be doing a part 2 of this video on Patreon, and I'll have it up very soon. So I know there's a lot of craziness in the world right now, but don't worry about it, Light Warriors. You know why. We cannot control what is around us. However, we can control from within. Be conscious that the power lies inside of you. And don't worry about what's going around you, right? Look at these. Do you think they're concerned about what's going around? They're stronger than all of that, right? It's an interesting visual, right? A couple of lions are stronger than all of them. So sometimes you might feel alone, sometimes you might feel overwhelmed, but the light of Christ is inside of you, and you're much greater than you were led to believe. You're stronger than your surroundings. And that's what this picture here at the top shows us all. You're greater than your surroundings. Don't forget it. Leave comments. What do you think about the concept of this video game? And I will be making a part 2 of this video, and it'll be up on Patreon very soon. I love you all. Question everything, because questioning everything is our birthright. And I got a lot of questions about this video game, Light Warriors. A lot of questions. I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.